As Afghanistan teeters on the brink of economic collapse, US lawmakers have called for the release of Afghan government funds. The assets were frozen when the Taliban took control in August. 40 members of the US House of Representatives have argued that the collapse of Afghanistan's currency would only worsen its humanitarian crisis. The UN warns 1 million children are at risk of dying of malnutrition. But the Democrats' appeal faces stiff opposition from Republicans, as well as significant legal hurdles. Torek Farhadi is a former advisor to the International Monetary Fund and World Bank, as well as to the Afghan government. He explains why the central bank funds are so desperately needed and how they can be released in a responsible way.
Afghanistan is a poor country. It was dependent on foreign aid for the past 20 years. And up to August 15, it was receiving about $4.5 billion from donors for its regular budget. So this has stopped. And at the same time, the reserves are frozen. The freeze of the reserves is a political issue in the United States. And now there is a legal wrangling also on the part of the 9/11 families that want part of this money. So this will take time. The letter that the Democrats have written to President Biden will not go very far because the atmospherics of the Congress, the Republicans versus the Democrats, with what's going on with the Build Back Better package and all that. President Biden is not going to devote attention to this issue now. But what needs to happen in Kabul is important as well. In Kabul, the Taliban need to depoliticize the central bank. The central bank needs to be run by professional Afghans who are not Taliban, who are not on sanctions lists. And that way, the central bank can be audited that any money coming to Afghanistan is spent for salaries of civil servants and does not go to the security sector. I think the two issues can be dealt separately. The funds, a part of it in tranches of, let's say, $150 million can be released so that Afghanistan can make certain payments, for instance, electricity payments that it has bought from Uzbekistan, and it owes $60 million to Uzbekistan for importing power, electricity, pharmaceuticals, fuel, food, everything is imported in Afghanistan. And releasing some of the funds through a central bank, which is non-political, auditable in a way to prove that the monies are not used by the security sector of the Taliban, but only for humanitarian purposes, is an effective way to come out of this crisis. In the end, these reserves are the backup for the currency of Afghanistan. They are not really meant to be used as a budget or to feed Afghanistan. These are reserves, currency reserves.